Good morning, journeyers. It is Thursday, June. I have to be keeping track of the days because honestly, I've been off for a week. Saturday is my son's funeral, so today is the 20th. Um, I want to ask a question. I hope everybody is doing good. Um, I'm just bracing myself for that day. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just taking this one day at a time. Um, why do we fussy ourselves over funerals, over the corpse? And it may sound a way, but I don't intend for it to sound anyway. But and I'm not gonna try to tell anybody how to send out your loved one, how to put them in the ground. I'm not gonna do that. Just walking through this, and I mean, why not go simple? Why not do this in the simplest form? Why do we try to break our backs in trying to and I'm going to say corpse because that's what it is really. It is just a shell of your spirit man. It's like clothes, like this clothes on my body right now. And that's what the corpse was. So that laying there, it is not your loved one. And the thing is, when I went to Spanish Town and look at that body, that definitely was not my son. That was whatever was left. And now you go to the funeral and they try to fix it up as best as possible to let you get that sense or that vibe, that feeling that this is the closest thing to what you had. But they can't do that job. They try to do it as best as possible, but that is not your loved one. That is just clothes. That was just a shell for your spirit, man. And I'm, walking through this. I even find myself saying, he wouldn't like this or he would like that, so let's do this. And this is something that is from, I think, maybe tradition or culture or society paint that picture to make it look like, okay, this person can feel, or this person listen. I believe that we should be more concerned about our souls. And uh, I'm not, listen, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to be insensitive to anybody who have lost a loved one or in the process of putting your loved one to rest. Remember, I am about to put my son to the to lay him to rest. So I am not trying to be insensitive. I am just wondering, why do we go through such extent, through such length to get even the most expensive clothes? Certain We do certain things to ensure even the caskets. If you're not from Jamaica, I don't know how it is elsewhere, but a, a package here can cost up to millions of dollars. The lease, the lease for a package is probably, and depending, because it's two phase. You have where you do the casket, the programs and all of that stuff, and then you have a different part or a different department which you have to pay a different set of money for the grave if you don't have a family plot. So um, the least a funeral is for is a casket is for probably about 290 something thousand dollars. Say 290 something thousand dollars. That's a lease which you get. So that does not include the burial. So if you're going to do the burial and the simplest is $180,000. That is the norm. If you want, like they offer other service like a tent, if you want a tent for your family, and they offer marble headstone if you want to do that, which let's take the tent out, which if you get one of those, because the $180,000 comes with a normal I don't know if it's a headstone, but it's a metal thing that you put on the grave with their names and date of birth and date of death. So you get that with the $180,000. If you want an official looking headstone, that can cost you $210,000. So $210,000 plus almost $300,000. So that's like $500,000, the lease for a funeral. And bear me, clothes is not included, and some other stuff. And remember, in the family, that's not in you with getting clothes and all these things, that's not included. Plus, if you're going to have in Jamaica, we have 9 nights, not 9 nights, you have then call it dead yard and 9 nights. That is the like the whole get together and eating and music and all these things after before the funeral. And then you have they call I'm trying to, is it repass or repass? You have that and honestly I don't know where that came from. All of a sudden that came about after the funeral. Then you have to feed the people the night before the funeral and then after. Mighty God. So a funeral can cost up to $1 million, and that is like the least. And walking through this, I'm saying we put so much effort into this. Sometimes there's so much contention in planning the funeral, especially if one side of the family want this, another side of the family want that, and all these things. What if it's just one set of people walking through this? So we need grace to go through these things. It is a lot of work. And then you, the individual that have lost the loved one, depending if you are not too old, because older people, probably the children or grandchildren go through this and all of that. But it is a lot. And then the grieving process. So it's really a lot. And I believe that it's just grace, God's grace, that can really take you through these things. But the question is, why do we put so much into it? Why can't we be simple? Why can't we go out simple? Why do we have to have all these fandangles with that casket? That the casket alone may cost probably almost, because you have casket up to $600,000-$700,000. You have people putting their loved ones in these chariot things and all of that, and I know it's a lot of money for all of that. And I'm not saying, I want you to understand. I'm not saying if you have the money, and even if you have the money, why do all that? Why do all that? Guys, I'm more concerned about the souls, our souls. That's my concern. That is my concern, our souls. We probably worry about fixing them up night. That's not what's going to go to Jesus. That's not what, that corpse is just going to rot away and all of that. It is the spirit that will present itself to the Most High. And then if you're not clothed, because that is the clothes that we need to worry about, the clothing in righteousness, in Jesus' righteousness. If we are not clothed in the righteousness of God, then we have a problem. We have a problem. We worrying about the wrong thing. We worrying about the wrong thing. We worry about how this corpse is going to look for what? For God or for the people them where they go come at the funeral. And if you not dress him up and make him look rich, you think that people are going to talk about you. Why do you care? Why do you care if people are going to talk about you? Why do you care if you don't have you don't meet people's expectation? Why do you care? Why do we care if people want to talk about us? Why do we care? Oh, we all look at to present ourselves in front of people. Honestly, guys, certain things where all of this is concerned, I am not going to worry about it. I'm not going to worry about it. I am just doing this because it needs to be done. A funeral needs to be done, and I want him to get a service. I want him to get a service. If it was up to my daughters, we just go do one little thing at the graveside and all of that. But I want him to get a service, you know. So, um, guys, sometimes you see people even dash much money in the coffins, in the caskets, or in the ground, and do some like crazy stuff. And honestly, I'm not sitting here and telling you if you want to do something, don't do it, and all of that. But what is the purpose? What is the purpose of doing the things you do for a funeral? What is the purpose? You know? So the best clothes, the best clothes, the best way to go out of this life is to be clothed in the righteousness of God. That is the best clothing, and that's what we should ensure happens, because that corpse wearing the $1 million suit and whatever else, the $1 million casket, you know, all the extravagance guns of things that we do for a funeral, none of that will matter. None of that is going to matter. So let's not worry about what people think or what people will say. Let's worry about our souls. Let's worry about our souls. Is it clothed in the righteousness of God? Or is it clothed with Nike or some other name brand? I just, this is my last video for sure for this week. After the funeral, I will come on here. Um, guys, encourage the community, encourage the community. um, like, share, subscribe, you know. I'm at the beach right now trying to relax, to slide into Saturday. um, thank you for your prayers, thank you for your love. Have a beautiful Thursday. Thank you for coming on the journey with me, guys.